Have you ever felt like you're gaining weight, Eventhal? Your eating habits haven't really changed? Or maybe your favorite degens don't quite zip up like they used to, Eventhal? You're still watching what you eat. You're not alone. This mysterious weight gain after 60 is more common than you think, and it often has little to do with eating too much. As women enter their 60s, the body undergoes natural changes. Muscle mass begins to decrease, metabolism slows down, and hormone levels, especially estrogen, continue to drop. These shifts make the body more efficient at storing fat and less effective at burning calories, even if you're eating the same foods you always have. In fact, studies show that the average woman loses about half a pound of muscle each year after turning 50 if no strength training is involved. And here's the kicker. Muscle burns more calories at rest than fat does. So, as your muscle mass drops, so does your resting metabolic rate. That means you burn fewer calories while simply sitting, sleeping, or even watching TV. To make matters trickier, appetite and taste can subtly change with age. Sweet foods might start tasting more appealing, while your sense of fullness might become less reliable. Combine this with decades of diet culture advice like avoiding fat or swapping meals for light snacks, and it's easy to see how certain foods sneak into your routine, seeming harmless but slowly tipping the scale. That's why it's so important to understand not just what you eat, but how it affects your unique post-60 body. Some of the most trusted healthy foods might actually be working against your weight goals. And the worst part? Most women don't even realize it until weight gain shows up slowly but surely. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time visiting, we're so glad you're here. This channel is all about living healthier, longer, and more vibrantly after 50. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe. Helps us continue bringing you helpful and inspiring videos today. We'll uncover 7 common foods that seem innocent but may be silently contributing to weight gain for women over 60. And more importantly, we'll show you how to make smarter choices that support your energy, metabolism, and joy of eating. Now I want to hear from you. Have you noticed your weight shifting after 60, even though your habits haven't changed? Drop a comment below and share your experience. It helps others know they're not alone. Section 1. Low-fat yogurt. A sugar trap in disguise. For decades, we were told to fear fat. Low-fat labels flooded the grocery store shelves, and many of us, eager to stay healthy and trim, filled our carts with items like low-fat yogurt. Seemed like the perfect snack, creamy, nutritious, and low in calories. But here's the truth most women don't realize until much later. Many low-fat yogurts are quietly packed with added sugar, and that sugar could be one of the culprits behind midlife weight gain. When manufacturers remove fat from dairy products, they also remove flavor. To make the yogurt taste good again, they often add sugar, fruit, syrups, artificial sweeteners, or even cornstarch. A single 6-ounce serving of flavored low-fat yogurt can contain anywhere from 15 to 25 grams of sugar. As a donut or a small candy bar, that's just one small container. So what happens inside your body when you eat sugary low-fat yogurt? The sugar causes a quick rise in blood glucose, which signals your pancreas to release insulin. Insulin helps move that sugar into your cells, but it also tells your body to store fat, especially around the belly. This repeated cycle of sugar spikes and insulin responses can lead to weight gain over time, even if your total calorie intake seems modest. Even worse, sugary yogurts often don't keep you full for long. Without the fat and with very little protein, these snacks can leave you feeling hungry again in an hour, or to setting the stage for more snacking or overeating later in the day. A better approach: choose full-fat plain Greek yogurt or unsweetened varieties. Full-fat versions may sound scary if you grew up avoiding fat, but they're actually more satisfying and provide healthy fats that support hormone health, brain function, and satiety. You can add your own flavor with a few slices of fresh fruit, a sprinkle of cinnamon, or a handful of nuts. This kind of snack supports your metabolism and helps you stay full longer. Without the sugar crash. Also worth noting, yogurt marketing often targets women, emphasizing calcium and probiotics. While it's true that yogurt can support bone and gut health, those benefits are only fully realized if you're choosing the right kind. Always read the label. Look for less than 6 grams of sugar per serving and avoid long ingredient lists filled with things you can't pronounce. In short, low-fat yogurt might look healthy, but it's often working against your goals, especially if you're over 60 and trying to manage your weight. Energy and hormones. Tip of the day. If you enjoy yogurt regularly, try replacing it with a bowl of plain Greek yogurt topped with half a banana and crushed walnuts. It tastes like dessert but actually supports your health. Section 2. Whole wheat bread. Not always. Whole truth, it's a common belief. If you swap white bread for whole wheat, you're making a healthier choice. And in many ways, that's true. Whole grains offer more fiber, more nutrients, and can support heart health. But here's the catch. Not all whole wheat bread is created equal. In fact, some varieties are so heavily processed that they behave more like sugar in your body than real whole grains. Many supermarket breads, labeled as whole wheat, actually contain a blend of refined flour and only a small percentage of whole grains. They might look brown and grainy, but much of that color comes from caramel coloring or molasses, not actual fiber-rich ingredients. What's more, a single slice can still cause a spike in your blood sugar, especially if you eat it alone without protein or fat. Here's why this matters. For women over 60, maintaining steady blood sugar is key to preventing weight gain, fatigue, and inflammation. When you eat bread that breaks down quickly into glucose, your body responds with insulin, just like it does with sugar. Over time, repeated blood sugar surges can lead to insulin resistance, which makes it harder to lose weight and easier to gain fat, especially around the abdomen. Even breads that market themselves as healthy, multi-grain or 12-grain, often aren't made with 100% whole grains. The grains may be cracked, ground, or pulverized, stripping away much of the fiber that slows digestion and keeps you full. So, what should you look for? The key is to read the ingredient list, not just the front of the package. Look for 100% whole wheat flour or 100% whole grain as the first ingredient. Avoid anything that starts with enriched wheat flour, which is just another way of saying processed white flour. Also, pay attention to fiber content. A truly whole grain bread should offer at least 3 grams of fiber per slice. If it's lower than that, it's not likely to keep you full or stabilize your blood sugar. Another tip: size matters. Some health breads have huge, dense slices that can be over 120 to 150 calories each. That means your innocent-looking sandwich could be clocking in at over 300 calories before you add anything else. For those sensitive to blood sugar, consider cutting back on bread altogether or replacing it a few times a week with fiber-rich options like lettuce wraps, sweet potato slices, or even cauliflower sandwich thins. These swaps can help lower carbohydrate load while still delivering satisfaction. In short, just because bread says whole wheat doesn't mean it's truly nourishing your body. And for women over 60 trying to avoid silent weight gain, those labels can be misleading. Friendly tip: try a slice of sprouted grain bread like Ezekiel bread, which is made from whole sprouted grains and legumes. It has more nutrients, lower glycemic impact, and a hearty texture that helps keep you full longer. Section 3. Dried fruits, nature's candy with a catch. Dried fruits like raisins, apricots, cranberries, canned dates seem like a smart, wholesome snack. After all, they're just fruit, right? And fruit is healthy. But for women over 60, dried fruits can be a surprisingly tricky source of sugar and calories that may lead to weight gain when eaten too casually. Let's break it down. Dried fruit is simply fresh fruit with the water removed. This means what's left behind is a highly concentrated version of sugar and calories. Take grapes, for example. It takes over 1 cup of fresh grapes to make just one small box of raisins that both contain same amount of sugar. Because the water is gone, the volume shrinks, but the sugar stays. That's why it's so easy to overeat dried fruit without even realizing it. A few dried apricots here, a handful of dried cranberries in your salad, a couple of dates with your afternoon tea. Suddenly, you've consumed 300 or more extra calories without feeling full. Worse, many dried fruits are coated in added sugar or syrups to enhance flavor and preserve shelf life. Here's a real concern. The average 1/4 cup of sweetened dried cranberries contains 29 grams of sugar, almost as much as a soda. And unlike fresh fruit, dried versions lack the water content that helps fill you up. So while a fresh apple might leave you feeling satisfied, few apple chips might just leave you wanting more. This becomes especially relevant after 60 when hunger cues and fullness signals aren't as strong as they once were. With slower metabolism and reduced muscle mass, every calorie counts more than it used to. And because dried fruits raise your blood sugar rapidly, they can trigger more cravings later, on leading to a vicious cycle of snacking. That said, dried fruits aren't inherently bad. They do offer fiber, antioxidants, and some nutrients, especially iron and potassium. The key is portion control and mindful pairing. A better way to enjoy dried fruit. Use it sparingly as a topping, not a snack. Add 1 tablespoon of raisins to a bowl of oatmeal, or sprinkle a few chopped dates into a salad alongside protein and healthy fats. This slows down the absorption of sugars and keeps your energy more stable. And if you buy dried fruit, go for unsweetened versions with no added oils or preservatives. Read the label carefully. Ingredients should include only the fruit itself. Steer clear of anything listing sugar, cane syrup, or fruit juice concentrate. Better yet, stick with fresh fruits when you can. They hydrate you, take longer to chew, and naturally signal satiety. Important advantages when managing your weight. In short, dried fruit may look harmless, but when it comes to weight management after 60, it's best to treat it like a condiment, not a main dish. Section 4. Healthy granola, calorie-dense and deceptive granola. It sounds like something you'd find in a hiker's backpack or a health nuts pantry, and for good reason. It's often marketed as natural, wholesome, and full of energy. And while granola can be part of a healthy diet for women over 60, trying to manage weight, it's a food that requires a closer look. Let's start with what granola really is. Most store-bought versions contain rolled oats, nuts, seeds, sweeteners, and oils, all baked together into crunchy clusters. Sounds innocent enough, right? But here's the issue. Granola is extremely calorie-dense even in small amounts. Typical serving size is only 1/4 to 1/2 cup, yet it often contains 200 to 300 calories, with 15 to 20 grams of sugar and up to 10 grams of fat. And let's be honest, how often do we stop at just half a cup? The sugar in granola is especially sneaky. It often comes from honey, maple syrup, brown sugar, or rice syrup, ingredients that sound natural, but behave the same as refined sugar in your body. That means a quick spike in blood sugar, followed by a crash in energy and increased hunger soon after. For a postmenopausal body with a slower metabolism, these sugar swings can quietly contribute to weight gain, especially around the midsection. Fat is another hidden factor. While nuts and seeds do provide healthy fats, granola is often baked with added oils, sometimes in excessive amounts, combined with sugar and grains. This creates a high-calorie mix that your body can easily store as fat if you're not burning it off. And because granola feels light and healthy, it's easy to overeat. You might pour a big bowl for breakfast, layer it generously over yogurt, or nibble it by the handful throughout the day. That adds up fast. But this doesn't mean you have to say goodbye to granola forever. The key is portion awareness and better choices. Here's how to enjoy it wisely. Stick to 1/4 cup as a topping, not a base. Sprinkle it on Greek yogurt, not the other way around. Choose low sugar or unsweetened versions with fewer than 6 grams of sugar per serving. Make your own at home with rolled oats, cinnamon, chopped nuts, and just a touch of honey or fruit puroso. You can control what goes in. Pair it with protein and fiber to avoid blood sugar spikes. You can also consider granola alternatives like chia pudding, overnight oats, or toasted seeds with fruit options that satisfy your texture cravings without overloading your system. In short, granola might wear a health halo. But when it comes to weight management after 60, it can be more deceptive than it appears. Friendly reminder, just because something comes in a health food aisle doesn't mean it's light on sugar, calories, or carbs. Always check the label and remember, smarter snacking is about quality, not just reputation. Section 5. Fruit juices, vitamins without the fibery glass of orange juice at breakfast. A splash of apple juice with lunch. Maybe a green juice in the afternoon to feel refreshed? Sound familiar? For many women, fruit juice feels like a simple way to get in more vitamins, especially if fresh fruits aren't always on hand. But if you're over 60 and trying to maintain a healthy weight, fruit juice might be doing more harm than good. Here's the key issue. Fruit juice strips away the fiber that naturally exists in whole fruit. That fiber is crucial for slowing the absorption of sugar, supporting digestion, and signaling fullness. When you remove the fiber, what you're left with is essentially liquid sugar, even if it's labeled 100% juice. Let's take orange juice as an example. 1 8-ounce glass contains about 21 grams of sugar and no fiber, the equivalent of about 4 oranges. But ask yourself this. When was the last time you sat down and ate 4 whole oranges in one sitting? Probably never. Juice makes it way too easy to consume high amounts of sugar quickly, without the natural stop signals your body uses when eating solid food. This matters even more after 60. When your metabolism slows and insulin sensitivity may decline. The rapid sugar rush from juice causes your pancreas to release insulin to bring down blood sugar. Over time, repeated spikes like this can contribute to insulin resistance, fat storage, and increased belly fat even if you're careful about your meals. And it's not just orange juice. Apple, grape, cranberry, and even some green juices can be loaded with natural and added sugars. Some bottled juices even include high fructose corn syrup, fruit juice, concentrate, or artificial sweeteners, all of which can mess with your metabolism and appetite. Here's another catch. Juice doesn't make you feel full. In fact, it can increase your hunger shortly after drinking it. Studies show that when people drink their calories instead of eating them, they tend to consume more calories overall during the day. So what can you do instead? Choose whole fruits whenever possible. An apple with skin, a small banana, or a handful of berries offer the same nutrients, but with fiber, texture, and chewing time that help you feel satisfied. If you enjoy juice and don't want to give it up completely, dilute it with water or sparkling water to reduce sugar concentration. Limit portion size to 4 ounces, half a cup, and pair it with a meal that includes protein or fat. Make your own juice at home and includes pulp to retain more fiber. Better still, hydrate with infused water like cucumber and mint or lemon and ginger. It feels refreshing and supports digestion without the sugar hit. In short, fruit juice might seem like a shortcut to better nutrition, but without its natural fiber, it's more like sugar in disguises as we are trying to manage weight and energy after 60. Section 6. Crackers and rice cakes. Light but misleading when hunger strikes between meals. Many women reach for something that feels light, crunchy, and guilt-free. Crackers and rice cakes often top that list. They're marketed as low-fat, low-calorie snacks that help you stay on track. But here's a truth worth chewing on. These foods can quietly contribute to weight gain, especially after 60. Let's start with rice cakes. Made from puffed rice, they're essentially simple carbohydrates with very little fiber or protein. That means they digest quickly, cause blood sugar to rise sharply, and then crash, leaving you hungry again soon after. And because they seem So light, it's easy to eat several in one sitting, especially if you top them with peanut butter, jam, or cheese. What begins as a 35-calorie snack can balloon into a 300-calorie pitfall without satisfying your hunger. Crackers pose similar problems. Even whole grain or multigrain crackers can be highly processed, with refined flours, added sugars, and unhealthy oils. A single serving, usually just 4 to 6 crackers, can contain 120 to 200 calories. And let's be honest, who stops at just a few? The real problem is how these snacks trick your brain. Because they're marketed as light, we often don't count them as part of our real food intake. But these in-between bites can quietly add hundreds of calories over the course of a day, especially when you graze out of habit or boredom. For women over 60, this matters more than ever. Your body needs fewer calories but more nutrients making. It is essential to choose snacks that provide protein, fiber, and healthy fats, not just empty carbs. So what can you do? First, rethink your definition of a snack. A good snack should curb your hunger and support your energy, okay? Not spike your blood sugar and leave you craving more. Better alternatives to crackers and rice cakes. An avocado on a slice of rye crisp bread adds healthy fat and fiber. A boiled egg with cucumber slices, handful of almonds, or walnuts with a few blueberries. Greek yogurt with a sprinkle of cinnamon. Hummus with raw carrots or bell peppers. And if you really enjoy the crunch, look for higher protein, higher fiber cracker brands made from seeds, legumes, or sprouted grains. Always check the label. Look for 3 grams of fiber, minimal added sugar, and recognizable ingredients. Also, remember that snacks don't have to come from a package. Whole, simple foods like fruit, a piece of cheese, or a handful of sunflower seeds can satisfy without triggering weight gain or sugar crashes. Quick tip: if you snack in front of the TV or computer, try portioning your food into a small bowl. Eating directly from the box or bag leads to mindless overeating, something that becomes riskier as your metabolism slows. In short, while crackers and rice cakes may seem harmless, they're often empty calories disguised as health foods. If you're aiming to manage your weight and feel your best after 60, it's time to snack, smarter not smaller. Section 7. Smart swaps and sustainable habits. So now that we've uncovered the sneaky foods that can contribute to weight gain after 60, you might be wondering, what can I actually eat? The good news is, you don't have to give up flavor, pleasure, or your favorite meals to stay healthy. The key lies in making smart swaps and building sustainable habits that work with your body, not against it. Let's start with mindset. Many women over 60 were raised during the peak of the diet era, when fat was the enemy. Meals were skipped and low-calorie meant healthy. But today's science tells a different story. Healthy fats, balanced protein, and fiber-rich carbs are your allies. They stabilize blood sugar, support muscle mass, keep you full helping. You eat less without feeling deprived? Here are a few smart food swaps that respect your metabolism and your taste buds. Instead of low-fat flavored yogurt, try plain Greek yogurt with berries and a dash of cinnamon. Instead of wheat bread or crackers, try sprouted grain bread or sliced sweet potato toast. Instead of fruit juice, enjoy infused water or a small smoothie with fiber and protein. Instead of dried fruit snacks, reach for fresh fruit with a handful of nuts. Instead of commercial granola, make your own with oats, nuts, and no added sugar. But beyond swapping ingredients, focus on these daily habits to support lasting weight balance. Protein in every meal after 60. If you need more protein to preserve lean muscle, which helps maintain metabolism, include eggs, fish, legumes, poultry, or plant-based protein throughout the day. Move more, sit less. You don't need a gym membership. Walk daily, do gentle stretching, or practice Tai Chi. Even light resistance exercises can make a big difference in maintaining muscle and preventing weight gain. Mindful eating, slow down, eat at the table. Notice flavors and textures. You'll naturally eat less and feel more satisfied. Studies show people who eat mindfully tend to weigh less and enjoy better digestion. Watch, Liquid calories. Most people underestimate the calories in drinks. Stick to water, tea, or black coffee. Skip sweetened teas, juice blends, flavored creamers. Sleep and stress matter. Poor sleep and chronic stress raise cortisol levels, which increases cravings and fat storage. Prioritize rest.com routines and joyful connections. Check your medications. Some common prescriptions for blood pressure, mood, or hormones can impact metabolism or appetite. Ask your doctor if weight changes could be a side effect. Remember, weight gain after 60 doesn't happen overnight. Reversing it doesn't require perfection. It's about gentle, consistent shifts that work with your life and health needs. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. Your body has carried you through decades. You deserve nourishment, not punishment. Choose foods that fuel your energy, honor your years, and bring pleasure to your plate. Healthcare is a daily journey. Doesn't have to be perfect, has to be consistent. If you found this video helpful, please share it with someone you love. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so we can continue this journey together, one healthy day at a time.